Dude, I don't care if Caitlin Clark punched her ticket, dude. I don't care. It is Wednesday, and I don't give a damn.
No, that's on Fridays. Today, I don't give a damn. Hey, but we got Rick. We got Steph in the studio.
Hump day. Turn the chat on, baby.
Yeah. We got Sam Salinas in the chat. What's up, Sam? Thanks for joining. Got some boxing talk. We got some WNBA talk, NFL, college football. Got some things to talk about. We have some.
Got some photos of Selma Hayek on her birthday. All for Chris Leha, man. The MCS guys.
We even have some Victor Wembanyama news to get into, man. There's Mario Cavazos. What's up, Mario? Gert from the Netherlands. Thanks for joining.
Mario, my man. Gert, Netherlands in the house. Sam Salinas.
Sam Salinas knows what's up.
All for the MCS guys, damn.
Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
It is hump day here in San Antonio. My name's Mike Jimenez. That is Joe Garcia, and this is retired United States Marine Corps Rick Fernandez. You know him, you love him as the real Fernandez. In the house today, Steph Mejia, also in the house today, co-producing today's show. It's going to be a big show as always. Here's the thing. Rick, you come from the land of San Diego where the weather is always beautiful. You come to San Antonio and it starts flooding. Last night, it just kept raining and raining and raining. My friend reached out to me around 5 o'clock. He has a rain gauge at his home. 1.67 inches by 5 p.m. And then it rained again at 8. Then it rained again at midnight. And then at 2 a.m. I bet you this neighbor got about 4 inches of rain. No lie. Your thoughts of coming to San Antonio and just experiencing the rain, because I know you got more rain the last 24 hours than you do the whole year in San Diego.
That's big facts, man. First of all, thanks for having me, Joe, Mike. I appreciate you guys. It's always a good time to be here with y'all, and of course with the beautiful Steph. And shout out to all the listeners out there, man. I appreciate being on here. Yeah, man. I was waiting for the Necios to be out in the tubes. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the Bucky. You know what? I was about to blow up my Bucky tube last night. So I was waiting for the Bucky tubes to get out and seeing the Necios, cruising down Broadway and all these different flooded streets. But yeah, man, it's been wild. Sometimes it's needed, right? Obviously the rain, but man, it's been crazy. It's been insane,
dude. It was funny, man. I was dropping off my kid to my ex-wife yesterday. And we're driving all the way over there. And I told her, I was like, I might have to turn back around. I ultimately made it to the meeting location, but it was pouring rain. And I just wonder, are we done yet? Are we done yet? Because I saw that we have a chance of rain again around 5 p.m. today. Good 30% chance of rain. It is possible. But I think the worst is behind us. But, man, anything other than getting 100-degree weather.
Well, that's facts. Because right now it feels nice out there. There's a nice breeze, and I mean, I know it's not going to last, but you're right. Anything better than 106 degrees, come on, man.
Do you know what's in the air? Fall's in the air. A little bit, a little sense of fall.
Steph said it was false fall.
Yeah, Steph says it's false fall.
There are two false falls. There's false fall number 1, and there's false fall number 2. The one in October is false fall number 2, where we all get excited. We get the pumpkin spice lattes at Starbucks, right? Everyone starts wearing brown and orange for some reason. Yeah. And then the heat comes for one more week, right? But here's the thing. Ooh, we got a little bit of an echo there. But here's the thing. When fall comes around, that's when football comes around. And we're on the eve of the NFL season. Kicks off tomorrow. Baltimore Ravens against the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Dude, it is time to get excited. The NFL's here. We got a taste, like the movie The Town. Give it a taste. The taste was this past week of college football, UTSA, UT getting big wins. But now we have the NFL season coming along. So we're going to talk about that. What do we expect from the Cowboys this year? The Texans, right? We'll talk about the NFL. Surprise teams. We're going to pick a team that we think is going to be that surprise team that comes out of nowhere, makes the playoffs. Last year was the Houston Texans. Speaking of the Texans, you can vote at MJ Acquired Taste, have a poll out. Will the Cowboys make the playoffs? Will the Texans make the playoffs? I know you want to get into boxing. We'll get into that. Joe Garcia, producing today's show, is really excited about Caitlin Clark. You were saying she punched her ticket. You're like, dude, good morning, man. You wanted to say hi? Comes in, she punched the ticket. My girl Angel Reese still has some work to do to make the playoffs, right? One spot left in the playoffs. We'll get into that as well. College football, the polls are out. UTSA still getting votes, even after barely beating Kennesaw State, getting some votes when it comes to it all.
I forgot something, man. I'm gonna do something for Rick right now because this is something we're gonna wind up giving away, sometime this week.
Yeah.
But I want Rick to wear it, so hold on.
Okay, here we go. Is it a turnover chain? What do we got going on over here? It looks
while he's doing that, definitely want to say what's up, Sam Salinas. Appreciate the shout out. Tex-Mex Frank, thanks for the
it is the chain.
Oh man, this is it right here. This is it.
Now I understand that this is not allowed inside the Frost Bank Center. That you can wear it to bars, but the Frost Bank Center might not let it through. That's what we told from Cuts, right?
Yeah. I don't know. They probably let that through, dude.
I don't know, man.
No, he was telling me, man. He goes, I don't think this is allowed in the Frost Bank Center.
It's not metal.
I don't know. It's worth a shot. I mean, I don't see why. No, I mean, I don't see why. I mean, I've seen things like this in other arenas, but I mean, I'm not too sure. I don't know the deal, but this is Cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cuts by Jones.
Cuts by Jones. Yeah. No, that's the move right there,
dude. I mean, it's slick, dude. I want to wear that to Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
just walk around with that, man.
Sure.
Very, very nice.
Real quick, appreciate Mario and Tex-Mex Frank giving the belated birthdays to Steph. She just celebrated her birthday, so thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.
We're not going to ask how old she is, but we do know for a fact that Rick did give the spankings.
Well, of course.
And one to grow on.
I mean, it don't even take a birthday to get the spanking. So I mean, what are we talking about?
Look at Sam Salinas.
Yeah.
Win that chain, and it now comes with Rick's essence.
Exactly. There you go.
Maybe Chicana Fuerte won't let it go now. She's gonna say, no, it comes home with me now.
I like that. Sam Salinas, my man.
Very nice. My man. The YouTube stream is up and running right now. So again, we're live on Facebook and on YouTube. Maybe on Twitter, not sure. They're kind of being nesty about it.
Yeah, man.
But the fact of the matter is that you can be part of the show by taking part in our chat line, powered by MCS General Contracting. There you see Steph, the belated birthday girl right there.
She looks like AI. The show. She looks so beautiful. Like, it's insane. Like, I'm watching her on the screen, and I'm just saying, she looks like AI. Like, she looks too gorgeous to be real.
We're calling his shot already.
I know. He was shooting a shot from like 5 feet away, thinking that she's AI. It's funny, man.
I love it.
Lots going on right now, But let's talk about the NFL season. It's upon us, right? Because that's the big part. NFL is king in the United States when it comes to sports, bigger than anything else. And I would argue that college football is second. Tomorrow, the NFL season starts. Right? We've had the preseason,
we've been waiting.
All that, so we've been waiting for this.
Yeah.
And we take a look right now. The Chiefs, back-to-back champions. There's never been a three-peat when it comes to the Super Bowl, right? Maybe back in the day before they called it the Super Bowl, like the NFL championship or whatever that was.
Right.
You might have had three-peats back then.
But Super Bowl era.
But in the Super Bowl era, it has never happened. Is there Kansas City Chiefs fatigue right now? Or are we still excited about Patrick Mahomes? Because I knew at some point during the Tom Brady years when he got his 7 rings, there was that time when it was like, oh, Tom Brady again. But then he went to Tampa Bay, got that ring over there, and got excited again because it was a different team. Can't get it without Belichick. But that whole combo between Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, you as a football fan right now, you're not a Chiefs fan.
Right.
Are you tired of this, or are you willing to appreciate the history of them going for the three-peat?
I am not tired of it, to be honest. And again, I'm going to look at this objectively as a football fan. I know Mahomes is a Texas Tech guy, and we got all that, but I'm gonna give him his props and his credit. I'm not tired of it, to be honest with you. I don't know. It doesn't seem an overstayed welcome yet. Maybe the Swifties have given Kelce, another little bump, and there's some new life there, but I don't know, man. Andy Reid it's hard to not like the guy. So I don't know, man. I'm really not over it. But there might be some fatigue there. I mean, man, it's difficult. How difficult is it to stay at that top level 3 years in a row? You would just think that, everyone's gunning for them, man. Everyone in the AFC is gunning for them. it's going to be interesting to see it. But I think watching history and a three-peat in a Super Bowl would be pretty amazing. It really would.
It would
What
be
an
amazing.
accomplishment, man.
Yeah, it
It's
would
hard
be. It
to
would
win.
be. It would be.
Imagine being part of the GOAT conversation at the age
Yeah.
of 28.
right.
Jeez.
And because I mean, there's a difference between what Tom Brady was doing and what Patrick Mahomes does. Patrick Mahomes, I'm sorry, is the better player.
He's got that clutch gene, man.
He's got the better arm than Tom Brady.
Yeah, more
Tom
athletic.
Brady is the GOAT.
Yeah,
Don't be wrong,
sure.
he's the GOAT. But Tom Brady is also one where if the Seahawks had just run it in from 1 yard, if Atlanta had held on to a 28-3 lead, if Vinatieri had missed a kick,
Yeah.
he could be a 3-time champion. We talk about how Tim Duncan's a 5-time champion, could have been 8 or 9,
Right.
if certain things
Yeah.
had gone his way. So Brady for me is like, okay, he got to 7, he got them in position, he would get the 2-minute drives in, he was clutch, all that stuff. He's the GOAT. He could wear that title. But the GOAT and the best, two different things. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback we have ever seen. And I don't care if we go back into the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Patrick Mahomes is the best player we've ever seen because the 3 titles that he won those titles. And last year's team was not that good. A lot of people were like, dude, they're not going to get very far in the playoffs. And then he gets them far into the playoffs. Well, they're not going to get the AFC championship game. They win the AFC championship game. Well, they have no chance in the Super Bowl, and they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy has won 3 championships and is on track to go for a third in a row, 4th for his career. To me, he's the best of all time.
Yeah, I mean, the things he does on that field are just ridiculous. They're just amazing. I mean, the knack and the feel he has for the game, and just like you said, Brady's Brady. We got that. But like, there was all these other, and hey, circumstances are what they are. But like you said, one thing happens one way, another, you might see different things. Like you said, Mahomes is winning these championships.
Yes.
There isn't like, oh, well, he's the quarterback, but there's all these other. I mean, again, of course, you have all the other factors, and I get all that. But yeah, again, you got to give the dude props. Like you said, so young, so talented. Seems like a nice guy. I mean, I obviously I don't know him personally. I'm just saying, like, seems like a wholesome person that just does the right things for the right reasons.
He's a family guy.
Yeah, it seems like it. And there's a lot of distractions, man. You got the wife and his brother and his father.
Yeah,
all that, right? Like, and I mean, again, I look at it from like a personal standpoint. Like, it's a good life story of like he has all these things going on and he's somehow trying to keep it grounded. Just like a lot of us, right? A lot of us have all this stuff going on in our lives, and we're trying to like just hold on and maintain and be the best that we can be. I'm not trying to get all soft. I'm just saying, like, that's what I think about when I think about Patrick Mahomes. I really do. Like, and not on top of that, he's like uber talented. It's insane.
I mean, behind the back and throwing sidearm, and it's different. He's not the prototypical quarterback. He's not a running quarterback, but he can run.
Right.
He has a cannon of an arm.
Yeah.
Last season, Chiefs beat the Niners in Super Bowl 58, 25-22 in overtime. They beat the Eagles 38-35 the year before that. So back-to-back years where they won the Super Bowl by a field goal. They lost to the Bucks 31-9 in Super Bowl 55, and then they beat the Niners 31-20 back in 2020. So what a career that he's had so far.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it right now. I don't have the fatigue yet. I think people have Travis Kelce fatigue, Taylor Swift stuff. The fact that he has the New Heights podcast.
Yeah.
He's on Saturday Night Live. He's doing all these commercials. So there's some Travis Kelce fatigue. He's turning 35. He's the best player that Mahomes has to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
And I think that at some point, if there's going to be any point of emphasis this year where the Chiefs might actually take a step backward, it's if Kelce is not regular Kelce. Kelce did not get 1,000 yards last year.
Yeah.
He was just shy. Now, he sat out the last game, but he was just shy. He's not as good as he used to be, at least when it comes to receiving. Xavier Worthy, though.
Hey, let's hear from
rookie.
Chicana Fuerte, though. The one thing is, I know she's going to want to go and see those Chiefs games because she's going to want to see
Travis Kelce and tapes. She's a Texas Tech girl. So she likes that aspect also.
I mean, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. There's just a little bit of feedback on my end. I've always been excited about Mahomes, especially going to see him whenever he was at Texas Tech and just really writing it all out this entire time. Everybody tells me, who's your NFL team? Well, I'm not really big into NFL teams just because I didn't grow up around it, but I am really big on college football, growing up in Lubbock, being all about Texas Tech. So I do follow certain players that have made it to the NFL, and I watch them. So unfortunately for you guys, I am a Patrick Mahomes fan, and I'm gonna ride this out all the way.
He's a Texas Tech alum.
Yeah,
He-
of course.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
Patrick Mahomes, 3-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time MVP, Super Bowl MVP rather, 2-time NFL MVP. You know, you look at Patrick Mahomes' career, it's amazing. You know, he can retire right now at the age of 28
Yeah.
and be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That is very, very, very rare.
That's insane.
But one of the things that we're going to look into this year is obviously here in Texas, all eyes are going to be on the Texans and the Cowboys. And the Cowboys have had a bumpy offseason, right? They did sign CeeDee Lamb finally, that 4-year extension, going to be making about $34 million a year. Right now, Dak Prescott still has not been signed. It's still possible that he could be signed, but it's a weird thing because Diana Rossini from ESPN is reporting right now that the sides are not being are not meeting right now, or the deal's not being made because there's a discrepancy on the number of years wanted. Typically, back in the day, Dak wanted fewer years, and Cowboys wanted him to be there more.
Right.
And Dak was like, nope, I want a 2 or 3 year deal, 2 or 3 year deal, 2 or 3 year deal, and he can let the market redo itself and reestablish itself and then get the higher payout, right? Kirk Cousins did that for many, many years. This time around, ESPN is reporting that the main sticking point is the fact that the Cowboys are like, yeah, we want you back, just not for very long. We want a short deal, whereas Dak is holding out for a longer deal. Dak right now, unrestricted free agent if he plays this year and he plays out his contract. He can go to any team he wants at that point. He holds all the cards. There's no way the Cowboys can franchise tag him. There's no way the Cowboys can do anything other than just meet his demand. And if the Cowboys don't meet his demand, what ends up happening is they swallow more than $40 million in dead cap space.
Right.
So first and foremost, between now and first game of the season, I don't see it happening.
It doesn't look like it. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look like it. Our boy John Dyer is saying Cowboys will cave by Friday. Man, it's an interesting situation. Like you said, you know, normally the roles seem to be reversed on who wants what time and how, you know, and the sticking point seems to be the length, right? The length of the contract and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, man. I feel like, and I, you know, again, I'm a Cowboys guy, you know, but I'm also, you know, I'll be realistic. I mean, I think Dak's kind of ran his course in Dallas, man. Like,
which is weird.
And yeah, I mean, Dak's a talented player. I mean, Dak's really is, and I think he's going to go somewhere else and do well for another team. He could go to the Raiders or something like that, and I guarantee he'll do well. Saints, I don't know. He'll do well wherever he goes. Now, is he going to win a championship? That's is he going to win a Super Bowl? That's the question. I think both. It's like a relationship. Like both of them are just done. Like Dallas and Dak.
It's run its course.
Yeah. It's kind of run its course, and Dak's just like, hey, either am I going to get paid, you know, or what's going on? So. I don't know, man. It just seems like Dallas looks like let's run this year with McCarthy and Dak and then like do a full revamp next year. I don't know.
But what? This is year 5 of McCarthy. What happened in his last year 5?
He
won a Super Bowl
after, in Green Bay, right?
And Cowboy fan is like, hey, this is going to be our year. Every year is our year, bro. For the last 20 years.
It's been a long time since 1996. But I asked a question on Twitter at MJ Acquired Taste. Are the Dallas Cowboys making the playoffs this year? Right now, I just posted this poll right before the show started. 48 votes in, 58% saying nope, not going to happen.
Yeah,
and that is my take right now. I don't think the Cowboys are going to have a winning record this year. I really don't. They have no game when it comes to running the ball. I don't trust Zeke. I don't trust Rico Dowdle. Now, I know they brought in Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin Cook apparently is looking good in training and all that stuff. Show me what it looks like in pads.
Yeah.
Show me what it looks like in pads. It's been a couple of years since he's been really, really good. He leaves Minnesota, suddenly doesn't know how to run. Weird thing is, Alexander Madison, who was his backup there in Minnesota, didn't know how to run either the second he was given the RB1 duties.
Yeah.
I look at the Cowboys right now, and I think to myself, if they're going to make the playoffs, it's going to be because it's going to be defensive-led. Now, Deron Bland, injured, foot surgery, going to miss 6 to 8 games. But the Cowboys still have a very, very, very good defense. If that Cowboys defense is a top 5 defense in the NFL, then okay, they'll make the playoffs. They'll get their 10 wins. But if that defense has some issues with with stopping the run game, this season's going to be a long one for the Cowboys. And the problem with the Cowboys is I don't think they're so bad that they're going to sink, because you want one of two things. You either want to win 11, 12 games, or you want to win 2 or 3. Winning 7 to 10 gets you nowhere, because it doesn't get you a top draft pick.
Well, and again, whether this is default or whatever you want to call it, but the issue is always the NFC least. You know what I'm saying? The NFC least, the NFC East. All it takes is winning that division, man, and getting into the playoffs, right? And again, if the NFC East is weak and the other teams aren't doing what they need to do, and someone has to sneak in, and you know what I mean, it could be the Cowboys. That's all I'm saying. That's not like a vote of confidence of like, yeah, we got into the playoffs, but I'm just saying like to. That's why I'm not saying the Cowboys are. I'm not going to do the whole it's our year, we're going to win the Super Bowl, but it's not outlandish to think they don't sneak into the playoffs, depending on or winning the division or stuff like that.
Look at what our good friend John Dyer's saying, man, our homie here. The Cowboys won 12 games without a running game last season. This isn't new to them. That's true.
Okay, with no running game, they at least had Tony Pollard. Okay,
but he wasn't that. I mean, he wasn't that big bad running back.
Pollard isn't awful. Okay, Pollard isn't Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott is right now averaging 3.8 yards per carry. I'm looking at a list right now of the division champions for the NFC over the years. Cowboys won it last year. The Eagles won the year before that. Then the Cowboys, then the Commanders. And you go back in time, there hasn't been a repeat division champion since 2004. What were you doing back in 2004, man? I mean,
I was in Fallujah in 2004.
It's been a while.
So
I mean, the song "It's Been a While" was on at the time.
2004. That just goes to show you, like, the NFC East has just been a fucking shit show, man. Like, excuse my language, but it's just you take it, no, you take it, no, you take it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, and then whoever wins that division, hosts a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? Like
they do.
And then you got this other teams that are like, a lot more wins or look better, or what, again, that's the system. We get that. But hey, you just got to win your division. So if you're the Cowboys, you're like, win your division, like beat your division rivals. And that's really what your focus on, your goal is. And that defense can get you there. If the defense is just good enough to win division, they're in the playoffs. Now, what happens after that, is anyone's guess.
Look at what Sam Salinas says, Rick. We can always count on Philly screwing up somewhere during the season, especially if they're in the driver's seat. This is what happened.
Big facts. That's a good point. I'm curious to see what DC does, with the Commanders.
Yeah, the Commanders.
That's a kind of a wild card, right? That one could go either way.
Well, I mean, they have Jayden Daniels as their quarterback, formerly of LSU, LSU star.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself the question, what are they going to be doing, and how are these rookie quarterbacks going to work out?
Sure.
Jayden Daniels right now, according to ESPN.com, is listed as the QB1.
Yeah.
And you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, these guys could be talented.
Remember Robert Griffin III?
Yeah.
When he went bonkers his rookie season, won Rookie of the Year and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then you look at the Eagles depth chart. Cowboy fans just completely diss Jaylen Hurts all the time. And Jaylen Hurts is not consistent. He can run the ball, not consistent. And this year doesn't have Jason Kelce in front of him. So it's going to be a transition year. But the weapons around him. Saquon Barkley going from the Giants to the Eagles.
Another interesting one.
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. They got Jahan Dotson in a trade. Dude, they got Dotson in a trade, who was a top wide receiver in the draft a few years ago. They got him for a mid-round pick and a late-round pick. They just stole him.
Yeah.
The Eagles have the roster complete on the offense, and then if you look at their defense underachieving, but they all have something in common. They're all from Georgia. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean, Josh Sweat. They all seem to have Georgia ties to them. You figure at some point they're going to come together and connect.
Man, I can't stand the Eagles, man. They're the pinche lechuzas cagadas, dude. I can't stand Eagle fan. I can't stand the Eagles, period. I hate them. I hate them all.
I said DC, I meant DQ for those who know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm interested to see what Dan Quinn does with the Commanders. But again, and I said this before, maybe this is just my trying to be positive. Sometimes these guys turn the clock back. If you got a Delvin Cook and I'm not saying he's got to be like the star and carrying the team, but if he, gets in there on the third downs, if he, gets into the red zone and kind of does his thing, if Zeke turns it back a little bit, guys like that have had it. They've had it. They've shown that they've had it. Sometimes they turn the clock back. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're just washed and that's it. I guess that's just kind of a we'll see, and it's a hope that between both of them, maybe they can kind of muster up something of of a credible running back. I don't know, but it's gonna be an interesting season, man. It's gonna be great.
Well, let's go to our chat line right now. We have Mario Cavasso saying Jalen Hurts came out on the Philly podcast saying he's now learning how to read a blitz. Jason Kelsey would just cover for him. Cuts by Jones was saying Eagles head coach sucks. Everyone around him is doing his job.
No lies detected, man.
And that's the thing is that oftentimes when it comes to coaching, it becomes a big deal. Andy Reid is such a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Shanahan never won a Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. He's over there in San Francisco, but he can get you there. He's gotten the Niners to the Super Bowl twice in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
It is very possible. But going back to Dalvin Cook just 2 seasons ago, 2022, had nearly 1,200 yards rushing, had nearly 40 receptions. The thing about it is that last year he lost his job.
Yeah.
Even though he was a stud running back, he goes to the Jets because he wants to play with Aaron Rodgers. And he loses his job to a first and second year player.
Yeah.
And when he was out on the field, averaged just 3.2 yards per carry. So Dalvin Cook, is he washed? Well, maybe it was the wrong offense. Maybe we can give him that. Maybe it was a bad mix, bad offense. Maybe it was the fact that there was somebody that arrived that was better than him.
Right. And
he just didn't get the opportunity. So we'll see that from Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, what I am excited about for Cowboy fans is the guy can catch from the backfield.
Yeah.
He can give him the screen pass.
Little screen, yep.
And he can make that happen. But Dalvin Cook, complete stud from 2020 to 2022. And that 2020 season had 16 touchdown running and then a few others through the air. But Cowboys is going to be an interesting season. Now head into the AFC. We talked about the Ravens. We talked about the Chiefs. It is going to be difficult for the Houston Texans to make noise because there's so much competition around them, so many good quarterbacks in that whole AFC. I mean, even the average quarterbacks are Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert.
Right.
I mean, they have to get through Joe Burrow. They have to get through through these really good quarterbacks. Josh Allen over there. They have to get through all of these guys. I asked the question on Twitter: do the Houston Texans have a good chance of making the playoffs, and what percentage?
Absolutely,
will say that. And right now, 71.4 say yes. The problem with the Houston Texans is their schedule is ridiculous. Yeah. They have one of the 5 hardest schedules in the league. Now they're going to start off pretty easy, relatively easy. They're on the road against Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts, right? Then they've got the Bears coming into town, so they got a rookie in Caleb Williams. Can they sick the dogs on that guy? Right. Can they sick the pass rushers at him? Then they're on the road to the Vikings, so they should be 3-0 at that point. Home against the Jaguars. Dare I say they should be 4-0? I think if they're 4-0 at that point, they're going to be fine because they've racked up some W's, right?
Racked up some equity.
But after that, the Bills come into town. After that, they go to Foxborough. They go on the road against the Packers. They have a game against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets in New York on Halloween night. They've got the Lions. They've got the Cowboys. They've got the Chiefs. They've got the Dolphins. They've got the Ravens again. Dude, this is a second half of the season going to be difficult. I think that the Texans need to go 8-1, 7-2 to put themselves in position to make a strong playoff push. Because if they're 5-4, even if they're 6-3 after 9 games, they're going to struggle to make the wild card.
Yeah, if they find themselves upset in like one of those first 4 or 5 games, like you said, that's where it's going to be tough. Because like you said, they can find themselves on the outside looking in just because of the tough schedule. And again, I get crap on Twitter about like, I'm not a Texans hater. I'm really not. I'm indifferent to them. Like they're and that's just kind of like me as a sports fan, right? Like my teams are my teams, right? And it's the Spurs, Longhorns, Cowboys. Other teams to me are indifferent. Like they're irrelevant to me. Like I don't watch other teams and worry about what they're doing. And I also don't hate them either. So I'll give props and credit where credit is due when it comes to the Texans. They're a talented team. They got great weapons. They got a lot going on. But like you said, it's a tough schedule.
Oh, Mike.
I read it. You can read it.
$4.99 super chat from my boy.
Tex Frank saying, tired of Cowboys bashing. Give me a grito, Joe.
Hey, man, the man's paying. We got to do it, Mike.
There you go.
You already know, man.
It ain't bashing if it's the truth.
Mike's favorite part.
So that was amazing, right? But
Yeah.
so one of our listeners, or by the way, thank you so much for the super chat text, Frank. We're not bashing the Cowboys. Okay, the Cowboys are going to be bashing themselves.
We're keeping it real.
Keeping it real. We had a listener earlier on our chat line mention Kellen Moore.
Oh God!
Completely forgot that Kellen
Yeah.
Moore was the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now
Yeah.
Kellen Moore,
Because he was with the Chargers, right?
with the Chargers,
yeah,
Justin
yep.
Herbert. They got Harbaugh going on
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there, so
yeah.
they made the switch over
Yeah.
there. Kellen Moore, he's so
He's predictable, man. Come on.
I can see how good he is at what he does, but he tends to wet the bed when it comes to play calling when it matters.
Mhm.
And I wonder if he's matured enough. He's just 36 years old.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's an old coordinator who
Right.
can't learn from
Yeah.
things. But has he ever had the weapons that he's had here? Because I know back in the day when the Cowboys were winning 12 games and he had Zeke
Mhm.
relatively in his prime, you had Tony Pollard and he had a pretty decent tight end, pretty decent wide receiver core, and a young Dak Prescott. He was pretty good. But now he has Saquon.
Mhm.
Now he's got Devontae. Now he's
Yeah.
got AJ.
I think I remember Kellen Moore. Early on, it was kind of like, oh, this wonder kind. Everyone was, oh, boy genius, and a next, a great offensive mind, and he was so young and all this kind of stuff. And then, like you said, he started kind of wetting a little bit. This is where we're gonna find out, right? Like
Yeah.
you said, you got the weapons, you got what you need in Philly. Let's see if Kellen Moore is that offensive mind that he once was touted to be. And if he's not, this is going to show. I think this year is going to show it.
Is he the next Kyle Shanahan?
Exactly, right? Because I think the old guard of like those old school coaches in the NFL are kind of going away, where you see these young coordinators that are coming up and they're smart and they think differently and all that kind of stuff. Is he that, or is he just another one of those run-of-the-mill coordinators? We're going to find out this year because, like you said, he's got the weapons. There's no excuse.
I got a question here for Chicana Fuerte. We got to bring her on the show and let her have her voice. Is she going to be consoling Rick at the end of the season when the Cowboys?
I mean, what's the difficult part about all this is that, I'm not a Cowboys fan, and I'm just exhausted of hearing like all these excuses, everything. And another thing, I love soothing my man, but goddamn, guys, win a goddamn game. he did tell me once, it was a little joke, oh, you'll get a ring whenever the Cowboys get a ring. So
hey, con even más ganas, we're gonna be rooting for that ring this year, man.
That's the only reason why I'm rooting for the Cowboys.
If the Cowboys win, Steph wins.
Oh man,
You've been waiting a while, girl. You've been waiting a while, girl.
We've all been there and done that, so I'll wait a little bit longer.
Can you all split the difference and make it when Jerry Jones dies?
Oh,
that's
gonna be a lot sooner. That's definitely probably be a lot
He's
sooner.
about 2 years out, bro.
Yeah.
Heck no, he's a part of the Illuminati club. He ain't never died.
He never dies.
For real.
So let's talk about the teams that are going to be most likely to make the Super Bowl, right? If I had to pick a team in the AFC, that one's tough.
Mm-hmm.
That one is tough. The normal pick is you take the Chiefs.
Sure.
They've been in the Super Bowl, 4 out of 5 years?
Right.
Won the last 2. That's the easy pick to make.
Yeah.
And let's disregard that one,
Sure.
right? But then you take a look at the AFC South. You have the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Ravens in the AFC North, the Bengals in the AFC North, the Bills, the Dolphins. And then somewhere we're going to find out whether the Jets have anything with Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to disregard that one.
No,
So
man.
we got-
Aaron Rodgers is washed, dude.
Could be. Bills, Dolphins, Ravens, Bengals, Texans. Those are the 5 teams that are going to challenge the Chiefs for supremacy in the AFC. It's weird because I look at it and the Bills, I want to say the Bills because Josh Allen's there.
Yeah.
I want to say the Bills. Josh Allen, when he's playing his best, he is great. He's a top 3 quarterback. But the guy's a fumble machine, a turnover machine. And there's some games out there where he has 5 or 6 combined turnovers. Tua, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I like the coaching. I like the scheme. I like the guy. I love Tyreek Hill. Don't trust him. Ravens are snake bitten. There's something about the Ravens right now where I look at them, even though they have Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is at some point going to decline, right? He's not a machine. He's not the Terminator out there. He's going to decline at some point. Then you see the Bengals. Joe Burrow always gets hurt. Burrow has had, when he's healthy, top 5 quarterback. But he's had a couple of seasons where he gets hurt.
Man,
I look at it more and more, and I hate to say it's not me being a homer, but I think the biggest threat to the Chiefs is the Houston Texans.
I don't know. Sean over here in the chat saying that you might be the biggest threat out there because he says Jimenez thinks he's the fastest guy on earth. Did you say you're sneaky athletic, right?
Sneaky athletic, David. Sneaky athletic. But the Texans with CJ Stroud, with that defense, D'Amico Ryans, you go from Nico Collins to Tank Dell to now they have Stephon Diggs this year. They got Joe Mixon in the backfield. They have an offensive line that is legit with Laramie Tunsil leading the way. You got a strong defense. You've got strong coaching.
Yeah, I like D'Amico Ryans, man. I really do. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a strong-minded guy to put all that stuff together. So I think he's the right man for the job there. You know, I go back to the Bills, though, man. Josh Allen, like he's got to be due, man. You know what I mean? He's got to be. They're knocking on the door, but like you said, they get right there and they just can't get it in because he's fumbling and doing what he's doing.
They can't seem to get past the Chiefs in those playoff matchups.
They can't. But it's like those old Bulls couldn't get past the Pistons. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we saw that
Pistons couldn't get back, and so on and so forth. Like we've seen that. You know,
we saw that when the Texans went to Baltimore for the playoff game. Texans won a playoff game last year.
Yeah.
They go into Baltimore and they look like a deer in headlights.
Got trash, dude.
Yeah.
Now the team is better now.
Yeah.
And now they have that experience. It's whether or not they can learn from that experience. And it's also going to be whether or not they can have these games at home.
Sure.
If the Texans are the home team, I think they're going to be perfectly fine.
That's a difference.
The ones that can travel, Joe Burrow, I mean, they call Arrowhead Burrowhead for a reason. He's not afraid of going in there.
He ain't afraid of Mahomes, bro.
Right. But it's also like paper, rock, scissors. Like, I don't think the Texans are afraid of the Bengals. But I think the Chiefs are afraid of the Bengals. And I think the Bengals are afraid of the Ravens.
But why are they afraid of the Bengals? Because Joey Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes.
Like they say in boxing, man, styles makes fights. You know what I mean? Styles make fights. Just because one team beats one team doesn't mean they beat the other. You know what I mean? Like it's and say when it comes to boxing, like one fighter beats one fighter doesn't mean he can beat the other fighter. You know what I'm saying? So styles make fights, and I think the teams, the way they match up, are interesting. Where like you said, one team might be like, man, I'm worried about that team, but that other team's like, I'm not worried about them. But and that's just the way it goes sometimes. And again, like you said, I think it has a lot to do with the where they're playing. You know what I mean? The home team, like you said, the Bengals ain't afraid to
look at
travel.
this comment here from Tony Ornelas. The biggest threat to the Chiefs is Taylor Swift. He says, what the hell is the Chiefs letting her create an offensive play?
Well, first of all, she got the Swifties on board and they won because of her. Everyone was super excited about bashing her if the Chiefs lost. And the fact that she was out on the field kissing Travis Kelce going, how did you get here? How did you do all this? And she said, jet lag is a state of mind, or jet lag, basically jet lag doesn't bother her. Was amazing. Here are the odds, by the way, according to BetMGM, of winning the AFC this year. The Chiefs are 3.25 to 1 odds. So just barely over 3 to 1 odds. So think about that. Just to go back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You bet $100, you profit 325. The Ravens at 5.5 to 1 odds. The Bengals at 7 to 1. Texans at 8 to 1. Bills at 8.5 and the Jets at 9. Beyond that, you've got the Dolphins at 12 to 1. Now, if you look at these other teams that might just come out of nowhere, if you have a come out of nowhere team in the AFC, I'm going to say the Dolphins and the Jets are the come out of nowhere team. I don't want it to be the Browns because screw Deshaun Watson.
He ain't going to be the quarterback.
It's going to be Harbaugh in LA is going to be interesting. I think that's just going to be an interesting story there. So you got Harbaugh in LA. You never know. But one of those teams is going to come out, and surprise.
Deshaun can't even seem to stay healthy, dude. I think he's washed already, dude.
Yeah, he is. He has a Tiger Woods thing, where Tiger Woods sucked after it all got revealed how cochino he was. That's basically what has happened with him. Now, the odds to win the NFC: Niners 3 to 1.
Yeah.
Eagles 5.5 to 1. Lions 5.5 to 1. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and say that the Texans are the best candidate to beat the Chiefs. I'm not saying that they're the ones that will do it, but I think just talent-wise, it's between the ears when it comes to them and confidence and can they be the home team, right?
Yeah.
But the NFC is interesting because you take a look at it. Niners at 3 to 1 odds, Eagles at 5.5, the Lions at 5.5 to 1 odds, Packers at 7.5, the Cowboys at 7.5, Rams at 12, and then you have the Bears at 15. So if I was to ask you which team do you think is going to come out of the NFC, who do you got?
I mean, again, the Niners are the kind of easy, pick. So let's just take them out of the equation. I don't know, man. Lions, man. I think, again, I love the coach.
Yeah.
I love the toughness. Again, I'm being impartial. I'm being, fair. And I would say, the Lions' toughness and grittiness, it's just that something about that city of Detroit, that those players kind of are emboldened by. I can see it.
Grind mentality.
Yeah,
they just grind out those games,
right,
man.
I could see it. Yeah.
So I'm taking a look at this. I think the Lions are the team, man. The Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Second best team in the NFL, you think?
Second best in the NFC. I mean, you got to give the Niners credit, man. They have just offensively
McCaffrey.
I mean, even defensively
Purdy.
with Bosa, with Purdy, McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Kittle's still a good tight end.
Yeah, he is.
Brandon Ayuk is coming back, so they didn't even lose him in free agency.
Yeah.
He wanted to trade. They're like, screw that. They brought him back in for $30 million, became the 6th wide receiver in the NFL at the $30 million mark. But the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, if he's healthy enough and he takes that leap, Jahmyr Gibbs right now with a hamstring injury, he's questionable for week 1, had a hamstring issue last year, missed a couple of games last year because of it. Jared Goff, though, quietly had 4,500 yards passing last year. Just out of nowhere. It's like, no one's looking. Yeah, I suck. I'm average.
Still a solid QB.
He's just a solid QB who throws up yardage. The old saying about is Dak black Kirk Cousins or is Kirk Cousins white Dak Prescott, I think was kind of funny. But I think you can throw that into the mix when it comes to Jared Goff. Is Jared Goff white Dak Prescott, But
I think he's a better version.
I mean, dude, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta. I mean, they've got, when you have a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes, a ballsy coach that's going to go for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2.
Yeah.
When you've got a stud tight end, a legit top 5, top 8 wide receiver, when you've got a running back who is a top 5 running back and is 24, 25 years old, you've got the makings of something good. And you've got a defense that'll blitz the hell out. If anything else, they're the most exciting team in football right now.
Yeah.
I agree.
I hope secretly that they go to the Super Bowl at some point.
That'd be great. That'd be great
Yeah.
just for that coach.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's their Goff too. I mean, he was a castaway. You know, they didn't want him no more over there with the Rams.
Goff, dude. Okay, how about this, man? Goff wins a Super Bowl this year. Is he in the Hall of Famer? Because Jared Goff already has a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Man,
people forget the Rams days.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah.
So Jared, and by the way, Jared Goff has the hottest wife of all the wives.
Jeez,
and
bro.
Kristen Harper.
That's how Mike gauges the quarterbacks.
One of our guys said Mike is the Mexican Dak. Did you see that? I don't know who said it. I think it might have been Midtown.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some pictures here of Kristen Harper.
Oh, there it is.
Midtown, Texas. Oh, Midtown, Texas.
Guys.
Midtown, Texas never fails, man. Mike is a Mexican Dak.
Dime. Look at the life that Jared Goff lives. Look at the life that he lives.
Mike is el Señor Coco.
SI swimsuit model.
And I'm not trying to be a hater here, right? And I'm listen, I have my heterosexuality is undefeated, right? But I can look at a man and say it's a good looking guy. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Goff, not a bad looking guy, but it doesn't hurt when you're a multimillionaire, and you're doing that. I'm just saying,
he married her, or she married him, or agreed to it all.
Yeah.
When they were 0-16.
Yeah.
So he was like, I mean, even still, but
she's ride or die, man.
Kristen Harper is amazing, dude.
I mean,
John Dyer, Josh Allen is white Dak.
John Dyer always has good ones. And earlier, it was earlier in the chat, but he did say, "Don't worry to me because UT's going to carry us transitioning into college."
Tony Ornelas
Um,
completely forgetting the rules when it comes to Sancho teams. The Sancho team, again, the rule is it can't be in your conference, right? He's saying that one of his Sancho teams is the Lions, but he's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah,
You can't. It has to be different conference.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not even into the Sancho thing.
I'm
team
a
thing.
I'm
Period.
a Saints
but
guy.
He's a ride or die, man.
Yeah, I'm rolling with my Cowboys, man. But
I'm rolling with the Cowboys and the Texans. I don't give a damn.
Let's pick a team in the NFC, right? Like the sexy pick right now is to say that the Bears are going to make it happen because the Bears have an incredible team around Caleb Williams, right? The Bears depth chart is pretty insane. You would think that they would have done this in the past for their other quarterbacks, but no. You know, Justin Fields, screw you.
Yeah.
But with this guy, they're like, okay, we're going to give you DJ Moore.
Yeah.
We're going to give you Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen. We're going to draft a first-round draft pick and first-round wide receiver in Rome Odunze. They gave him weapons around him. They gave him a running game. DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert, by the way, who I met in Super Bowl Radio Row, really, really nice guy. That being said, I don't want to pick them as a sexy team. That's the obvious sexy team to come out and challenge the Packers, challenge the Lions for that wild card berth in the NFC North. I'm going to tell you the team that I think is going to be feisty this year. If the guy could put down the remote control, the Arizona Cardinals, a Kyler Murray rebirth this year.
Again, I always talk about, man, those rebirths are there, man. And
Marvin
Kyler Murray
Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
he's got a stud.
Love the kid.
Dyer got the comment or the chat here of the day, man.
Oh yeah, the
it's
bakery.
time for
Mike's creepy segment presented by Sugars.
Dude, hey, if they want to sponsor, they want to sponsor. I will take sponsorship dollars in singles. So will Joe.
Mike's creepy segment sponsored by KY. Mike waiting on that Blue Chew sponsorship. Hey, Mike Taylor had that one time back in the day. Yeah, that Blue Chew. Hey man, if they paying the bills, bro, I'm all down for it.
You got to, man.
Like, man, I want to thank everybody for the recommendations. And you know what? All I mentioned was Kristen Harper for like 10 seconds. I wasn't like, oh my God, go through 30 photos. I mentioned the fact that Jared Goff has a nugget of a wife.
Yeah.
Goodness, man. Cardinals, by the way, 40-1 odds to win the NFC rather. I just look at them and I think to myself, somebody's going to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It happens every year.
Yeah, it happens every year. Absolutely. Yeah, the Kyler Murray thing, it would be interesting. I like the kid. I think he does have something left. And he can he does a lot of great, amazing things on the court, on the field as well. But yeah,
we got to get some love, Joe. Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5.
All right, here we go. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Again, I subscribe on YouTube. I subscribe on Spotify as well. Locked On Spurs, man, fantastic coverage when it comes to your silver and black San Antonio Spurs. If you go to kens5.com, you can link onto this from Twitter and Threads as well at Jeff G Spurs Zone. An article written by Jeff Garcia posted this morning about how a Warriors big man, Kevon Looney, talking about what it was like to have Chris Paul as a teammate. Chris Paul, now the new floor general for the Spurs, entering his 21st season, I believe, in the NBA. Going to be the first point guard ever to play that many seasons ever in NBA history. So you can read an article about that on Twitter at kens5.com. Jeff Garcia also does his daily podcast when it comes to the Spurs. I'm oftentimes on there. I know Joe is oftentimes on there. But when you think about Chris Paul, have they already decided what number he's going to wear?
3. It looks like it's going to be 3, and Keldon probably going to be donning the number 0.
Not a double zero.
No,
Double zero is
just
Johnny Moore.
Johnny
No,
Moore.
just zero.
So
Yeah,
this-
he
are-
was
are-
zero in Austin.
Are
Yeah.
the Spurs going to be like the roulette wheel in Vegas? We had a double zero and a zero.
A double zero and a zero.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I mean, well, yeah, you got the double zeros, Johnny Moore, but
Like,
Keldon,
why was he double zero?
that's
Like, how did that happen?
Agent Zero, man.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question. But Keldon wore zero with Austin when he was in the G League. I know there was a bunch of fuss and back and forth about that. I figured CP3 is a it's a brand, like it's its own brand. So I don't know the details. There's been a bunch of rumors about.
I'm sure there was some
he paid-
monetary
there
compensation.
had to be some
bro.
monetary
Come on.
compensation. Yeah, there's another rumor going around that Pop pulled Keldon aside and said, "Hey, it's the right thing to do." Whether you like it or not, I kind of agree.
Man,
I kinda
Coach
think it
Pop
is the
really
right thing
told
to do.
Keldon, F your feelings.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I think, like I said, CP3 is its own brand. I mean, I'm sure he paid him out. This doesn't surprise me that Chris Paul stayed with the number. And
Yeah, but the big question is Chicana Fuerte going to be wearing a Chris Paul jersey or Collins?
you already know that.
I already know the answer to that one.
You know already Collins.
Look
is
at
the
it.
man.
Look at it.
How
He
much-
got love for Collins.
the avatar.
Yeah, there's the AI.
So you look at the Spurs right now. Track Hoops got retweeted by Jeff Garcia earlier today, showing the Spurs roster. It looks like they're already predicting who the starting lineup is going to be.
Mhm.
They're saying Chris Paul, Devin Vassell at the 1 and 2, Harrison Barnes at 3, Sohan at the 4, Wemby at the 5, with Stephon Castle being the 6th man.
Yeah.
That seems to me very, very legit. They have Mamu and City and Blake Wesley and Champagne being the back of the bench.
Mhm.
That's your boy, Champagne. Mike has no love for Champagne. He ain't
Huh?
going to be wearing
Serious?
no Champagne jersey,
No,
dude.
man.
Didn't you love him at one point? That one summer league year that he did.
No,
He did. He
What
did.
year?
He
You
got
know,
the
come
tape.
on, let's
He
be
had,
honest.
he had a really good
He had
game
a-
in Austin.
Ah, here it comes.
When I was
Yeah.
there in Austin to watch that one game at the Moody,
Yeah.
Champagne went off.
Yeah,
I think he
yeah.
thought he was in college.
Yeah. Or
And
maybe,
then-
maybe it was his twin brother, man. Maybe they swapped each other. You
Yeah.
know he has a twin brother.
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
the same height and everything.
They look a lot alike. I mean, he's better than his twin brother, but I'm just making a joke. Maybe they swapped. Maybe they did a body swap or something. But no, yeah, he has a twin brother. That I think he's like in one of the G League teams.
Look
But-
at Jesse A. Collins is booty cheeks, just waiting for his jersey to go on clearance.
Dude, Zach Collins is basura, and then the fact of the matter is that his contract is just starting. Like we
Yeah.
remember.
Better
that-
watch out, Mike.
Remember
Yeah.
that contract he signed?
Yeah,
It wasn't for last year.
Yeah.
It's for the start this year.
Yeah. Hey,
It's
real
a crap contract.
Real quick, can you go back to that Sam Salinas comment about the Fan? That's an underrated movie. So Sam Salinas says KJ probably needs to watch The Fan and give up the number 3. That movie is very underrated. The Fan. It's
I've
Robert De
seen that one.
Niro. Yeah, it's Robert De
Seen that one.
Niro and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
He's a baseball player, right? And Robert De Niro is like this crazy obsessed baseball fan.
Yeah.
But there's a part in the movie, I think it's Benicio del Toro, and him and Wesley Snipes are arguing over what number to get. It's the Fan, goes in there and kills him because this movie's from the 90s. So if someone's upset about a spoiler, don't be upset with me, because if you haven't seen it yet, it's from the 90s. But
I saw it one time.
it's actually a really good movie.
I remember it being
Yeah.
good.
it's a good
I didn't
movie.
see it a second time. Though.
Yeah. Sam Salinas, good nugget of a shout out to that movie, The Fan. It's a really good movie. But yeah, there's a segment in there where they're kind of back and forth about who gets what number. Yeah. Again, man, I think Keldon giving up the number is the right thing to do. You can disagree with me all you want. Again, I think if Chris Paul is alone and leaves and Keldon goes back to 3, then I don't know, man. I guess it's easy for me to say like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but players are superstitious. Players, I read somewhere where Keldon chose number 3 because he was a Chris Paul fan growing up.
Yeah.
So that's pretty ironic that now he's kind of like
Gotta
give it up.
He has to give it up. Yeah. So
Hey, look at this, Mike. Mario Cavazos says Patrick Beverly saying Sohan will be an elite player in a few years. Is he on crack or solid take?
It's kind of hard. Can Sohan develop an offensive game?
You said, can he shoot?
Can he shoot?
His
at all?
shot is
Yeah.
broken, dude.
Well, it's not broken. It never.
When he's shooting
existed.
one-handed free throws, it's broken.
It never existed.
Yeah.
That's the problem, and it's one of those things where Sohan is going to get better if there are better players around him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's garbage.
No, he's
You
not.
know.
Because he's not a lockdown defender. He's a good defender.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say he's a great defender. He's a good defender.
Mhm.
And that, at least you have that, right? The offensive game, I don't care if his 3-point shooting went up to 30%, and no one guarded him from the 3-point line. It was like when Russell Westbrook shoots threes. They let him shoot the ball, and if they're going to defend him from the 3, that percentage will actually go down. It's, can he be a certain player around better players? He needs to be part of a good team to thrive. He's not a number 2 option. He's not a number 3 option. But if you make him the number 4 or 5 option on a team, he can go out there and get sneaky baskets, sneaky putbacks, crash the boards, dive for balls and stuff like that. On a crappy team, he's trash.
Yeah.
On a good team, he might actually be pretty good.
Dyer just took the words out of my mouth. This is why we're out of my mind. Actually, this is why we've been friends since 2nd, 3rd grade. He says, elite is a big word. I think Sohan role is to be Wemby's Rodman. Now, I know the Rodman comparison, and I'm not talking about the hair and all that. I agree with that as far as the dirty stuff, the rebounds, the elbowing somebody in the ribs and getting under their skin. Jeremy does that stuff. Jeremy gets under. They were talking about that, where Jeremy gets under player skin. He does the dirty stuff. He could be the Rodman. He could be the rebounder, the defender. Doesn't, like you said, if he's the 4th option, he doesn't need to be the offensive guy, and that's great. I think guys like Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes are gonna help Rodman, help Sohan in that aspect. So I definitely agree. I think, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, look, Sohan's like not a number 2 guy, not a number 3. He's a damn good number 4 guy. If he's your 4th option, I would go, and I'm wearing we hooping, right? I don't know if you can see it, but I'm wearing the Devin we hooping, right? And I love my guy Devin, but he might not be a number 2, but he's a damn good number 3. He's not a 3. He's not a 3. He's a 4. He's a very good 4. Well, but point I'm trying to make again, and people always get into these arguments about on Spurs Twitter, like, this isn't a knock on those guys, but you just gotta, it's expectation management and what they are. You know, I think he could be a good number 3. I mean, he damn sure would be a really good number 4.
I mentioned this last week or a couple weeks ago.
I don't know what the 3rd is after Batman and Robin. Whoever after Robin
it's the butler.
Alfred.
Oh, it's Alfred.
Yeah. So we got Batman, Robin, and then who's
the Alfred?
Yeah. So, and hey, man, be the best Alfred you can be.
So I mentioned a couple weeks ago on the show about how we saw Kawhi Leonard develop a shot when he came from San Diego State. And he was an elite defensive player who created a shot. And I think that could just be redone.
Right. It's not that easy.
A guy coming into the NBA with no shot and developing an elite shot doesn't happen very often. That is a 1 in a million thing. We saw with Kawhi. So whenever Spurs fans look at Sohan, they think, oh, well, he'll develop a shot. He'll be just like Kawhi. No. Kawhi had a different shooting style. Kawhi had a different form and a different game, a different style. And he had Chip England on his side, the shooting doctor that is now with OKC.
Yeah. Well, and I agree with that, but on the flip side, though, it's also not impossible for him to improve. Maybe not like you said, not to be exactly like Kawhi, but to also on the other side of the coin to sit here and say like, there's no way that he can develop and improve. That's not true either. The comparison to say, oh, well, Kawhi did it, so Sohan can do it too. That's a stretch, but I think it's also unfair to say, well, he's what he is. He's never going to develop. He's never going to get any better.
The comparison to Draymond Green, though, I think is big. Everyone says Dennis Rodman. That's a hair reference. There's never been a Dennis Rodman before. There was never one after Dennis Rodman. We got to put that comparison away. Draymond Green is the one that's more like it because I'm looking at Draymond Green's stats. Here's Draymond Green's 3-point shooting for his career, 31.9%.
Yeah.
Right? It's a guy that gets 7 rebounds, gets 4 or 5 assists.
Sure.
He had a really good 3-point shooting percentage last year, but before that was, back-to-back years in the 20s.
Yeah.
When it comes to percentage.
Right.
Draymond Green is it. And does anybody guard Draymond Green at the 3-point line?
No.
No one does. No one does.
Yeah. But you know what? If you're going to be banging bodies underneath the court, right there in the paint, you better be ready to be kicked.
But true.
Yeah.
But the difference is, what's my favorite stat there, Joe?
EFG.
His EFG, Draymond Green's EFG is 51%. Right? And last year was at 56. The year before that was 57. The year before that was 56. That means that he's shooting the ball from 3 at 30%, kind of like Sohan is.
Yeah.
But for those of our listeners who make fun of Angel Reese for missing 2-pointers like crazy, that essentially is Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy Sohan is not finishing around the rim a lot. And that's why his effective field goal shooting percentage is down. It's not because his 3-point shooting is bad. I mean, that's part of the equation. But it's because his 2-point shooting went down.
Mhm.
Yeah, you went up from, what was it? 26% or 24% to 30%, but your 2-point shooting went down 4%.
Yeah.
It just went,
Sure.
it evened out.
Yeah.
This is what I've been telling Spur fan for forever. This comment right here. Sohan is Bruce Bowen 3.0. And I think the ceiling for Jeremy Sohan is going to be a Bruce Bowen-esque type of player.
Defensively.
Defensively.
I mean,
and
Bowen hit some threes.
maybe
Bowen
Sohan can knock down an open three.
Bowen was money from the side.
Mhm.
That's it. Just
That was his
side.
shot.
Short corner. Yeah.
But we saw those those videos earlier this summer of Sohan shooting for Poland,
Mhm.
and he was just practicing, and his form looked awful.
Mhm.
Do you know what it looked like? It looked like Reggie Miller. Now Reggie Miller would make those threes,
man.
where Reggie Miller would shoot the ball, and his hands would go in opposite directions. They would go inward.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the
that's what Sohan was
craziest
doing.
I ever saw was Sean Marion.
No, the
Do you
laser.
remember Sean
Shoot him from the
Marion?
stomach.
That was a laser, dude.
Yeah. That was the crazy. But he hit him some, but yeah, it's wild, man. I don't know. Yeah. Again, I know I'm gonna be called a homer, but I'm excited for this Spurs season, man. We're gonna learn a lot. We are gonna learn a lot from the Sohans,
All right,
Devins, the Keldons.
I got to protect my girl Angel Reese over here.
Yeah.
Sam Salinas, she's out on our YouTube stream saying, "True, Mike, but nobody's fawning over Sohan the way you fawn over Reese." Well, when Sohan leads the league in rebounds, when Sohan leads the league in double doubles, they'll be identical. Okay, but he doesn't. Okay, that's what Angel Reese does. Don't compare the two, baby. Don't compare the two.
Yeah, I definitely think though Sohan is going to benefit from Harrison Barnes being there.
Yeah.
From, you know what I mean.
This
From
is
Chris
Having
Paul,
a good three.
Yeah,
I wanted to show this real
And
quick.
real fast. But not only the good three, I think having Harrison Barnes there might actually be a good thing for Keldon Johnson.
Yeah.
I think Keldon might have a sneaky good season this year
Mhm.
because he knows he will know a defined role this year.
Mhm.
And I think Keldon might actually be good this year.
So I saw this earlier today before the show started. NBA Central released this, and it says Victor Wembanyama is favored to win Most Improved Player next season per Bovada.
Okay.
Official, right? Bovada
Yeah, yeah,
Sports.
yeah.
So Wemby's odds of winning Most Improved Player next season plus 750. Second, Evan Mobley.
Okay.
And third, Jonathan Kuminga. Okay. Do you have Josh Giddey, Jalen Johnson, Paolo Banchero, and Scotty Barnes?
Mhm.
But I don't disagree with this. I think that Victor Wembanyama could actually win Most Improved Player of the Year next season.
So there's a thing in when it comes to these sports writers, these old ass sports writers who don't want to give awards to rookies,
Mhm.
right? They or when it comes to these awards, they believe that the quarterback should get this particular award,
Yeah.
like the Heisman Trophy,
Right.
and not actually pick the best
Mhm.
player in college football.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a second year player, they have no problem doing it.
Yeah.
And their eyes get open, and you're going to see, what does he have, 23, 24 nationally televised games? People
Yeah.
are going to see who Wemby is this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
And then the eyes of having Chris Paul getting him the ball in his
Mhm.
spots, he's going to be a better player this year. Him being 7.5 to 1 odds, I got to go find some money inside the couch cushions because
Yeah.
that's not bad, man. 7.5 to 1 odds.
Or
is
just
pretty
take the
tasty.
money out of your swear jar.
Yeah. That is interesting, Joe, though, that you brought that up because honestly, I never even really thought about Most Improved Player for Wemby. I really
Because
didn't. I'm
everybody's thinking
defensive player
MVP and all
that.
these other.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But that is actually a good bet because he is gonna have an amazing. I mean, he had a great rookie year. He had an amazing rookie year.
The worst version of
Himself. Yeah, we all said that. We keep saying that's the worst version of Victor Wembanyama that we're ever gonna see. So this year, and then I think he's what he did with France, that silver medal run. I mean, again, it wasn't all about him. I mean, there was a lot of other players that stepped up and all that, but just the grittiness and what he had some not so great offensive games in those Olympics. There were some games where he wasn't but he was still there. He was still blocking.
Right.
He was affecting the game. He was doing all those things that that
helping
are
his team win.
Yeah, exactly. Which again, that just shows to his in between years. Like Mike likes to say, there's a lot of young players his age that are not having offensive games that'll start to shut down. That would start to just not do the blocks, because it starts with, I'm not hitting offensively. It's like I tell my son, he's a junior in high school. Sometimes your offensive shot's not going to hit all the time. That doesn't mean that it trickles down into your other stuff, the defense, whatever you're doing. So, and it's hard as a young, I get that, you start to lose confidence, but it just shows that Wemby, he didn't lose any confidence, even if he had an offensive struggle.
Well, the most improved player historically goes to an all-star. I'm taking a look at a list right now of the past winners. Last year was Tyrese Maxey, who averaged 25.9 points per game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds.
Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen won the year before that. John Morant. So these are big names that get this.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram, Pascal Siakam, Giannis won, CJ McCollum, Jimmy Butler, Paul George. So there are big names that actually do win this award. Tracy McGrady back in the day, Jalen Rose.
Yeah.
So you take a look at that. It is an all-stars award. So this it's actually, to win most improved player is actually a compliment.
Sure. Well, I guess
more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense for a player who wasn't an all-star the year before to make an all-star team the next year. That's a pretty big damn improvement. So, I mean, yeah, I could see that. I mean, he was, whiskers away from defensive player of the year as a rookie, which is damn near unheard of. Like
he's probably going to get it next season.
I mean, yeah, I would, it's not unlikely that he doesn't get rookie
most improved.
And
defensive player.
Yeah, he's gonna start racking up these awards. It's gonna be one of those things too, where at some point it's like, all right, by default he ain't gonna be getting these awards because he could get them every year.
I think we're gonna be.
There's
I think we're gonna be seeing Victor Wembanyama be getting it. Well, he's gonna be nominated, and the fans are gonna actually do the right thing, and vote him into the NBA All-Star game. I think he's gonna be an NBA All-Star this season.
Yeah, he'll be an all-star this year.
Yeah,
one way or the other.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about how college football is upon us, right?
No,
the chill of fall is in the air.
Yeah,
fall. We gotta give some love to myself here because September, by the way, Rick, I don't know if you know this, is Life Insurance Awareness Month, and this is the time of the year where most people buy life insurance. People buy life insurance in September, October, and November, more in those 3 months than the other 9 months combined. The reason is people get their open enrollment packets for work and whatnot. They start thinking around. If you have questions about life insurance, give me a call, 210-508-0369, 210-508-0369. I represent 40 companies when it comes to it. Get the right company because everyone's situation is different. Some of you are type 2 diabetic. Some of you are, ride motorcycles. Some of you, do various things, scuba dive, fly planes, or whatever the case may be. I know which company to align you with, 210-508-0369. I'm also an investor in the sense that I help people with their retirement accounts, setting up IRAs, doing rollovers from anything from old 401ks, 457, 403, TSP, all of that. Give me a call, 210-508-0369. In business now for 19 years. My name is Mike Jimenez. Keep me in business, baby. Keep me in business.
Also, let's go ahead and give some love to MCS General Contracting. And when we come back from that break, we're going to go ahead and start getting into some other sporting news.
Yes.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. All right.
And that Diamond Hard Concrete, baby.
Diamond Hard.
And we're gonna pay some love, give some love to Chris Leha's celebrity crush. She turned 58 years old. The one, the only, Salma Jimenez, because that's her real last name, by the way.
Jeez.
Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek Jimenez is her name. That's why it should have stayed, but no. We'll show some love to it. But let's talk about college football, man. We were surprised yesterday that the UTSA Roadrunners are underdogs. 2-point underdogs against Texas State and San Marcos. Looking forward to that. But UTSA did pick up 3 votes in the AP Top 25 rankings. I think we're ranked like 40th at this point. But taking a look at the top 25, Your Texas Longhorns moving up from 4-3 after beating the living crap out of Colorado State by more than 50 points.
Yep.
Let's take a look here. Georgia at number 1, getting 57 votes, first place votes. Ohio State at number 2, getting the remaining 5. Texas at number 3. Bama at 4. Notre Dame moving up 2 spots after beating A&M at Kyle Field to number 5. Ole Miss stays at number 6. Oregon, despite the win, drops from 3 to 7. Penn State is at 8. Missouri, the one SEC school that a lot of people are saying could make a lot of noise because they have an easy schedule and because they have a pretty good team. And I was watching ESPN a couple weeks ago. They were saying, if you're going to bet any money on a team that's going to make a run and win the SEC, and it's like a long shot, it's Missouri. Moved up to number 9. Michigan dropping from 9 to 10 despite beating Fresno State 30 to 10.
That's this big game this weekend, baby.
Other teams of note, Oklahoma at 15, LSU at 18. LSU is the highest ranked one-loss team in the land. Georgia Tech, welcome to the top 25, moving in at number 23. They're 2-0 already. Louisville also jumped into the top 25 as well. Now, on the coaches poll, though, Texas did get 1 first-place vote.
I'm here for it.
So one of the 55 first-place votes
Yeah.
went to the Texas Longhorns. Longhorns this week on the road. I was surprised.
Ann Arbor, baby.
They're in Ann Arbor, 7-point favorites, the Longhorns,
In Ann
against
Arbor,
the
yeah.
national champions in Ann Arbor. I was talking about this yesterday about how the Longhorns had the perfect game. Quinn Ewers balled out, and then on top of that, you got to see Arch Manning.
The legacy, baby.
You got
the legacy.
You got to get the taste.
You got the legacy.
You got
I loved it.
and you got to see. And Arch Manning's going to benefit from this next season when he's a starter.
Oh yeah,
right. You got to get him some reps.
Yep.
And they got him some reps. They got him a quarter and a half. They got him in there 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. So I hate to ask it this way because you're going into the defending champions building in Ann Arbor.
Yep.
Over 100,000 fans will be there. Should the expectation, I'm going to use the word expectation, be that the Texas Longhorns are going to win that game?
Honestly, and I'm a Texas guy, I don't think the expectation should be. I don't. I know, and I mean what I mean. I mean, I think they're going to win, but what I'm saying is, I don't think you should go in there expecting like I'm going to roll into Ann Arbor, 100,000 plus. Michigan is. I mean, I got it. No more. No Harbaugh.
Yeah.
No Connor Stallions. The sign stealer. Which, side note, if you haven't seen that Untold, have you seen that? It's pretty good.
I saw it.
Yeah.
But by the way,
it's a good story.
According to ESPN, the odds were the spread was 4. Within 12 hours, 24 hours, it jumped to 7.5. It's not only 7; it's now 7.5.
Yeah.
So everyone who's betting in Vegas right now is wearing burnt orange.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and Dyer says, Texas went into Bama last year. They're road warriors, which they are. And I think they're going to go into Ann Arbor and win. I'm just saying, it's going to be tough. I don't think it's going to be. I would hate for them to go in there thinking, hey, we're going to roll in there. We're going to this is going to be easy, money. And they're going to go into a tough, hostile environment. They got to have their A game on. Quinn's got to do his thing. Again, I just don't think it should be this foregone conclusion. Again, I'm just being real for Texas to just be like, yeah, we're rolling in there and that's it. Because this is a huge springboard. Winning this game, they can't. If the Texans get upset this game, that's going to be tough. Like it's going to be a tough rest of the way. So I think they just got to, be focused, be ready to roll. I think they're going to go in there and do it. But the expectation to say, oh, they're just going to roll in there, I don't think that's the case. But
it's weird to have the expectation of being a 7.5 point favorite.
Sure.
Not only that, the over/under being 42. So they're they're only expected to go in there and win. They're expected to pin the Wolverines down and keep them to like 14 points, or 17 points.
Yeah.
John Dyer earlier a few minutes ago is asking me to make my call. I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, he said the Alamo versus the outlets. What's your call?
I haven't decided.
Not yet.
I haven't decided, baby.
You gotta come on.
I haven't decided.
You gotta pick your fighter.
You gotta.
So for those of you who don't know, I spent my sophomore and junior year at Texas State. I spent my senior year at UTSA getting my degree. But when I went to UTSA, I didn't party. I was 24 years old already. I was 24 years old already. I came back. I finished my degree at UTSA. There was no football team there. My bona fides for Texas State was that when I went over there, it was SWT.
Mhm.
I went to the games over there. I cheered the games. The girl I dated was a strutter out there, So, I have some affinity for Texas State. I went there.
Yeah.
But my degree, what I have on the wall is orange and blue.
Mhm.
But I have T-shirts for both, and I haven't decided. It's going to be played at Bobcat Stadium.
Mm.
G.J. Kinney, though, head coach of Texas State. That guy, if he wants to coach in the NFL, he can.
Mm.
G.J. Kinney is one of the best young minds in all of college football. And not only that, he is close friends with Coach Traylor's son and Coach Traylor himself. I think he stood in like their wedding.
Mhm.
So that being said, it's not only a rivalry, but it's also
Yeah.
a friendship between these two head coaches
Yeah.
who deeply respect each other. I'm just saying this: Texas State wins this game, we should not be surprised, especially after the fact that even though Owen McCown did so well in the first quarter of the game, Kennesaw State had a chance to win that game. They had the ball.
Yeah.
Down 5. They had the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't no, easy gimme win for UTSA. It was a tough one. They grinded it out. The proximity of Texas State and UTSA adds to it. I feel like there's a lot of folks that are kind of ingrained into both schools.
Yeah.
You have some kind of, when you have schools so close to each other, of course you're going to have, hey, like you, hey, I went to both, or I know people that have gone here or there. It's going to be in San Marcos. I know what they haven't won. 5? It's been 5 in a row for UTSA. So Texas State, I'm sure feels like they're due. I like it. I like the rivalry. I've seen a lot, and again, I'm a UT guy, so I really don't have a dog in the fight. Now, I have been, to a lot of the UTSA tailgates, and I know a lot of my close friends are UTSA grads and alum, and I respect it. I respect, what UTSA has done, what they've built. Frank Harris, man, I met him a couple of times. He's an amazing person. We've had him on the show. He's such a nice guy. He's doing so much for the community. So UTSA is part of this community ingrained in San Antonio for sure. Texas State has come a long way from those. What is it? It used to be called Southwest, whatever.
Southwest.
Yeah. We used, so they've definitely come a long way. 2 great programs. I think it's great. I've seen a lot of hate week stuff of folks going back and forth on Twitter, and I like it. I like the trash talk. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I was looking for some examples, man. Some of the best ones were, the sororities saying that the only thing easier than Texas State girls is the admission standards at that school.
Yeah. I love when you start talking about the admissions and who couldn't get into where and who and this and that. I love it, and I tell you, I'm excited for A&M UT back this year. It's gonna be great. So. It's all in fun. It's all in, it's in jest.
It's a crappy weekend for college football this year, but for this week rather.
Yeah.
But not if you're from San Antonio.
Yeah.
It's like every other city.
UTSA,
No, every other city is going to be kind of going, not a lot of good matchups. But we have this week, 11 a.m. You've got the Michigan UT game.
Yeah.
3 p.m. You've got Texas State against UTSA. It's gonna be great.
our guy, we got Tech. Yeah. UTSA is flexing armadillo.
The Armadillos being Texas State from Johnny B. Good.
Yeah. Matt Gomez says you can't spell nutsack without UTSA.
Jeez,
man. I'll tell you, man. I've seen some pretty intense of stuff back and forth between Texas State and UTSA folks.
This chat's been pretty fire today, man.
Yeah, today's been a good day, man. I don't know. You know what, man? I think I'm gonna make a prediction and say Jimenez is gonna go Texas State.
I bet you.
I don't know, man.
The hard ones with the hard ones.
I have a feeling, man, that Jimenez is Texas State.
Well, since
man.
they play each other every year, right?
Yeah.
Would it be wrong to just cheer for the home team?
I mean,
if they play in the dome, I wear the blue.
Yeah. See, I like the opposite. I think I told you this before. I like the opposite. I love going into enemy territory. Maybe you do it the other way, where you know what I mean. You roll into Bobcat.
Fernandez is going to turn heel. He likes stirring the pot.
Yeah. Hollywood Hogan.
I'll be honest with you. I one time did cheer for UTSA at Bobcat Stadium.
Yeah,
that's when Marcus Davenport was going to be a first-round draft pick, and I wanted to see Davenport play.
Yeah,
ended up getting drafted by the New Orleans Saints in the first round.
Yeah,
Tony O'Neill saying Mike goes with the party school.
Of
course, Skip will choose Texas State. Thank you.
You know, one thing I wanted to show here too, man, since we're talking about college football, I was watching this because I follow Front Office Sports right on the X. So they released something here, man, and look at this. Blenders Eyewear,
Oh
the
man,
Prime Shades,
the Prime Shades
has sold more than 200,000 pairs
Yeah.
of Deion Sanders sunglasses for an estimated value $13 million. He's been a juggernaut, they said, this last year and a half, and we're just getting started with him. Those Prime Shades are just flying off the shelves, man.
I'll tell you what, man. First of all, the Blenders glasses, just in general, are pretty good glasses and affordable. They're really good glasses. They're really affordable. $50, something like that. They're not no $200, $300, $400, $500, glasses, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, but they're good glasses. They last. They're good. But them Prime glasses are nice. I'll tell you what. And Prime is a smart dude, man. I'll tell you what. He put those on and they just blew up. They blew up.
He wasn't dumb too, because he came out on that ESPN when Pat McAfee was there, and he was gifting. Every time he would come out on a show, he was gifting the Prime glasses.
I don't want to say it. It's because he can't do a shoe deal anymore.
Oh man! Wait, man, he don't got his big toe no more, man. It's gone. It's gone.
Some news and notes from Adam Schefter on ESPN.com right now. Bo Nix, the rookie quarterback for the Denver Broncos, has been named the team captain his rookie season. Also mentioned that Davis Mills, quarterback of the Houston Texans, the backup quarterback, signed to another deal to get him through the 2025 season to give some consistency there in the backup role with the former third-round draft pick. Kyle Pitts is dealing with a hamstring injury, was limited at practice today for the Atlanta Falcons.
Raheem Morris in the head coaching position is another one that I'm going to look at. I want to see. I like him as a coach. I think he's a smart mind. Seeing him in the head coaching helms in Atlanta is going to be fun.
The Denver Broncos signed a two-time Pro Bowler Patrick Surtain to a 4-year, $96 million deal, making him the highest-paid defensive back in history, according to Adam Schefter. Patrick Surtain was who the Cowboys wanted, and when he got picked, the Cowboys pivoted and took Micah Parsons instead. Now you want to talk about boxing today, man? What's going on in the boxing world these days?
So we got this. That's what I was going to just show right now. I had it ready to go.
There you
His
go.
Excellency.
Oh, man.
Rick, tell us about it.
So, okay. Turki Al-Sheh, His Excellency is what he's known as, right? He's the guy behind all these Saudi boxing cards, these Riyadh season boxing cards that have been happening lately. And love him or hate him, I mean, the dude has been bringing together. So for the longest time, a lot, especially UFC fans, will say, "Hey, fighters don't fight each other in boxing because you got Golden Boy, you got Top Rank, you got Al Heyman, you have all these entities that are their own companies that they don't want to fight each other because they don't want to lose money. They want their fighters to fight each other because at the end of the day, if I'm Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, if two of my fighters fight each other, I win regardless. Now if one of my fighters fights a different company and my guy loses, and I'm asked out. Well, what this man is trying to do is pretty much bring the entities together and create almost like a league, like a boxing league, which has never happened ever, and have them fight each other. And he's already had promotional companies have cards together, so it's pretty awesome. They're putting together a free Latino card soon, and it's going to be on free TV. It's going to kick off, the Riyadh season, and he's also talking about reducing the pay-per-view prices from $80, $90, $100 to more affordable $20, $30, $40, $50. So that's an amazing thing for fight fans. We also had this, a couple of days ago. I was one of those crazies that woke up at 5 a.m. 4 or 5 a.m. to watch Naoya Inoue from Japan, the monster out of Tokyo. The dude is a beast. I mean, he is just an amazing
And what's
fighter.
the reason why he doesn't come to the United States?
Well, he sells out the Tokyo Dome. He's just a big star in Japan, so he's selling out over there. He's making money. He has Japanese promoters and money TV deals, but Bob Arum has said that in 2025 he's bringing the monster to Vegas.
How old is he?
Mid-20s? Yeah, 26, 27, something like that. The dude's a beast.
Here it is by Michael Benson being reported on the X.
Yeah. So Bob Arum's looking at bringing him over to Vegas in 2025, which would be amazing. Again, the dude's 118 pounds. He's small. It's hard to get excited about these guys, but if you ever see him, man, he's a beast. Now in a way out of Tokyo, Japan. So he fought recently, and I woke up Steph to watch these fights at like 5 a.m. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" But that's that's the way it goes. But of course, you got Canelo in a couple of weeks fighting Edgar Berlanga. some criticism there because Berlanga isn't really a tested fighter. He's kind of a young, up and coming guy. Hasn't really fought anybody, but the dude's young. He's strong. You know,
And look at that, Rick. They're talking about some of the top, pound for pound, top 3 fighters in the world.
Oh yeah.
And who do we got on this list?
You got Inoue right there. You got Inoue. You got Crawford. You got Usyk. Yeah. Now Inoue is for boxing insiders who know boxing. He is one of the top. Some people think he's the top pound for pound period in the world, but he's definitely in the top 3. So again, bringing him to America is going to be key. It's definitely going to be key. So I'm excited about that. You know, more to come.
Now, pound for pound, is the hottest actress still Salma Hayek? We're giving this some love to MCS General Contracting because this came out earlier this week.
Yeah.
But, you know, we had the Labor Day weekend. Salma Hayek turned 58 years old.
Still looking
Mexican
good.
legend. We have some photos here. And she released what people are calling thirst traps. This is 58, according to Salma Hayek. She posted these photos for her birthday weekend, which was Labor Day weekend. And she is still bringing it after all these years.
That's wild, man. 58. I mean, that's insane.
She is, you know, people go back in time. She was the winner of our baddie brackets, which I think is kind of tainted because I think they try to give it as like a career achievement award. You know,
lifetime achievement.
Yeah, I mean,
at
the end of the day, is she a 10? Yes, she's a 10, right? But still, the 1997 version of Salma Hayek is an all-time great. That's the Mount Rushmore of hotties.
Is that the Fools Rush In? Salma Hayek?
Fools Rush In. That was
90s,
Dawn.
right? Yeah.
That's what that is. But happy birthday to Salma Hayek, by the way. Big fan. Again, I don't see how she plays Adam Sandler's wife in those grown-up movies, but still, there's no way in the world Adam Sandler was going to hook up with that girl.
Yeah. And some news and notes here as we start kind of bringing the show to an end. Want to show this real quick. We do have, again, Front Office Sports. The WNBA is reportedly expected to announce an expansion franchise in Portland that will join the league in 2026.
Nice.
So that's, you know, like we were saying, the WNBA is going to be expanding. So an expansion franchise coming to Portland soon.
That's
and
awesome.
of course, we do have the Fever, the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, her rookie year, leading the team to a playoff berth, man. So congratulations to her.
One spot left.
There you go.
One spot left.
Real quick. Mexican Junior says, since we're talking boxing, ask Fernandez to rank these trilogies: Gatti Ward, Barrera Morales, Marquez Vasquez. Actually, 4 fights. That's an amazing question or statement, by the way.
The answer is Gatti Ward.
That's an amazing statement, by the way. You know what? I'll tell you. Those Barrera Morales wars were awesome too, though. You got it. Gotti Ward that's a tough one. That's a really tough question. I don't usually get stumped with boxing questions, but I'll tell you what, though, and even the Marquez Vasquez is a little underrated because a lot of people don't remember those. They were like they weren't as big known fights, but I remember those Marquez Vasquez fights, and it's Rafael Marquez, not Juan Manuel, his brother, but those were amazing fights. Gotti Ward and Barrera Morales, man, those two are like 1A, 1B. Like it's really difficult, you know. But I do think I give the edge to Barrera Morales, and then I go Gotti Ward, and then I go Vasquez, Marquez. But man, that's an awesome question. Thanks.
Speaking of Mickey Ward, I said on the show yesterday that I believe The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg is the best boxing movie I've ever seen.
That is an amazing movie.
I've seen Raging Bull. Just the whole cast of the fighters.
The Dickie Eklund, the Christian Bale portrayal of Dickie Eklund was amazing. Fucking amazing.
So we gotta get some closing thoughts here from our other co-producer here, the lovely Chicana Fuerte,
the AI.
Yeah, the AI.
On what? What do you guys?
Oh, anything. Sports in general. We've been talking about
your love for Salma Hayek.
Oh yeah, what did you think about Salma?
Man, she's incredible. I mean, I'll stare along with you, man, all day at her.
58? Can you? I mean, 58.
That is. I mean, that's the goal. I've seen women in their 40s look incredible. What's her friend? Oh my gosh, Rudy J.
Yeah.
His wife. She's hot. And every time I see her, I'm like, God damn, woman, you're gorgeous. And she's in her 40s. And I just can't wait because, I mean, I feel like all us elite women look incredible the older we get.
Yeah, so I got to ask you, as we start getting closer and closer to the month of October, we're getting closer to Spurs basketball season, and it's going to be time for me and you to work on that secret project that we've been talking about. So it might be time to start going ahead and scheduling some weekend trips here to go ahead and get some coverage. But me and Chicana Fuerte are going to be working on a project to kind of tease the upcoming season. We're not going to let you all know what it is. When it's done, you'll see it. But it's going to be exciting.
Oh, man. Me and Rick also came up with an amazing idea last night on
Nice.
teasing for the Spurs. So
Something better than the bounce.
Oh my God, the bounce is legendary, and it will forever be immortalized. But there's something else, something a little bit more creative to show, the Latina aspect of me being a videographer.
Nice.
So,
exciting things coming out here from our resident, let's say, creative force here, Chicana Fuerte. So make sure you go and follow her, and of course, this is Rick's better half. So make sure you go and give Rick a follow too over at Real Fernandez on the X. Mike, you can see him at MJ Acquired Taste on the X, and myself, you can follow me at Two Shots Podcast. But make sure you go and follow all of us. And also today, we are going to have Down for the Count with Brandon Medina and Seth Elias. So that's going to happen later on tonight, I believe. I think at 8 or 9 o'clock. So make sure you go and check that out on the X Spaces and give them some love as well.
Very nice, very nice. Well, Fernandez, thanks for being on today,
Of course,
my man.
brother. Appreciate you having me, man.
It's always great to have you in town. How long are you in town for?
I'm here till Friday.
Very
So I'm here till
cool,
Friday.
man.
I've been here since last week, so it's been a couple of weeks out here.
Very cool. Well, thanks
So,
for being
thanks,
on.
brother. Appreciate you having me.
Chicana Fuerte, thank you so much for being here with us as well. Joe, excellent job producing. We're going to call it a show. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Thank you so much also for the super chats as well. MCS General Contracting, Jeff Garcia. And again, if you need any financial things going on when it comes to insurances or investments, I'm your guy, 210-508-0369. Let's call it a show. We'll be back tomorrow.
All right, stay
See you guys.